super friends, and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And in today's video, we'll be discussing how is Roy Harper going to return in Arrow Season 7. So let's discuss. Now, in March, I received what I could call the best possible news I've ever received within my entire lifetime, and that is that Roy Harper is going to be returning to Arrow in Season 7 as a series regular. Obviously, I made a video on this when that news broke, and it was just me just on camera, just screaming for the entire video, and I may end up getting a bit like that in this video as well. Why? Well, Roy Harper is one of my favourite characters ever in the history of Arrow. I adore him, and I love Colton Haynes in the role. So to know that we're going to be getting Roy back as a series regular is something I never thought would happen. I always thought, we'd see Roy show up again like he did in Season 6, but I never thought we would get him back as a series regular, so the fact this is happening is insane. But given his last appearance in Arrow Season 6, it's left me wondering how are they actually going to bring him back into this show. The last time we saw Roy was in Season 6, Episode 16, called the Thanatos Guild, where at the very end of that episode, he went off with Thea and Nyssa Al Ghul to track down these 3 remaining Lazarus pits that Malcolm Merlyn had discovered. So they went off to find them and assumably destroy them, because obviously Nyssa was Ra's al Ghul at a point in Season 4, and then she disbanded the League, so she wanted to get rid of all elements of it, hence why she wanted to destroy the Thanatos Guild as well. And Roy went off with Thea and Nyssa to do that. So why is Roy coming back to Star City all of a sudden? What's gone on with that storyline? There's just loads of questions that need to be addressed here. So in regards to Nyssa, you don't really need to explain what's going on with Nyssa. I mean, she just kind of comes and goes anyway. She can, she can take care of herself. She can do what she wants. She's all over the place. So you don't really need to explain Nyssa that much. Personally, will Nyssa return next season? I hope so. I always enjoy it when Nyssa returns. I think she was really awesome coming back in Episode 16. And given that Season 7 could be the last season, hopefully Katrina Law will come back for one more episode so we can deal with that and just get some closure for her character, because I think she's awesome. So in terms of Nyssa, there's not really much they have to explain there. However, a big question they're going to have to answer is, where is Thea? If Roy comes back and not Thea, that's a huge problem. And if they don't mention it at all, it's going to be so weird, because obviously those two are together, they're a couple, and the fact that they've gone off together, Roy comes back to Star City but Thea doesn't, well, where is she? It's going to be one of those really weird questions that they're just going to have to address, and there's probably going to be some really just clumsily written way that they are going to explain it, because obviously Thea and Willa Holland, who plays Thea, she left the show in the middle of Season 6 as she just, she didn't really want to be part of the show anymore after they kind of ran out of storylines for her kind of in Season 3. So they kind of found a way to write her off the show in Season 6, and that means that Willa Holland is no longer tied to any contract. So likelihood is Thea is not going to return to the show anytime soon. Now, this does mean that if Willa Holland does want to come back to the show and just, do an episode here and there, then she can do that. She can come back as guest spot, they can just pay her for those individual episodes. And maybe that's what they need to do in order to get this storyline to make sense again, in order to have Roy come back and then Thea come back. Because you can have Thea come back to Star City and then just do what she wants. She doesn't have to be, a member of Team Arrow. She doesn't have to be involved in the mayor's office, or she wouldn't be involved in the mayor's office, but you know what I mean. She doesn't have to be involved in the story. She can just be living her life. She doesn't have to be a series regular. She can just show up as a guest spot every now and then when necessary. And I feel like that's what's going to need to happen in order to make this whole thing about Roy coming back make sense. Because in terms of where Thea is going to be, if she's not with Roy, I don't understand why she won't be with Roy. And also, I'm pretty sure Oliver would not be very happy with that. So they need to explain where Thea is and why Roy is coming back to Star City. And also, where is Thea in regards to that. Also, Roy is going to have to explain what happened with those Lazarus pits. What did they find? Were they there, or were they fakes, or what? Like, they need to explain the ending, because this is a really interesting storyline for me, is this Lazarus pit thing. Because they're going to have to explain what these Lazarus pits were, and were they real, and what were they doing? Did they find any resurrections? Like, is Malcolm alive? Because, quite frankly, I feel like Malcolm will come back next season, and these Lazarus pits may be a way to do it, especially if Thea's involved, because she felt really guilty about Malcolm's death in Season 5. I feel like she would want to help bring him back. So there's all these different things that are surrounding this particular storyline that Roy is going to have to clear up when he gets back to Star City. Is, well, what happened? Did they find anything, and what's going on? Because if there are Lazarus pits still around, they must have destroyed them, surely, because if Nyssa was there, like I said at the start of the video, Nyssa disbanded the League of Assassins. She wants nothing to do with them. She doesn't want them to exist anymore, and the Lazarus pits are obviously a direct descendant of the League of Assassins. They are what they, the League of Assassins created. So they're going to have to destroy that. So Roy is going to have to clear up a lot of stuff when he gets back to Team Arrow. Personally, I feel like I'm looking into this way too much, and knowing the CW and the writers of the Arrowverse, they are not going to explain this well. Roy's going to show up, he's going to come back, probably he's going to get called by someone like Felicity or whatever, or he's going to see on the news that Oliver has cleared his name and, you know, he can come back, because Roy is now clear. He's not a criminal, he's no longer on the run, he can do what he wants. So he's going to have to come back. I mean, I imagine what's going to happen is he's going to come back and see Oliver in prison to thank him, and then that's how he gets back involved, and maybe they kind of stir up a plan to break him out, or, you know, something like that. That's how Roy's going to get involved. I feel like, personally, Roy, he's going to see it on the news, he thinks, oh, Oliver's cleared my name, I'm going to go see him, thank him. He goes to prison, goes to Slabside, he thanks him, and then that's when Roy kind of gets dragged back into the whole vigilante thing. And I feel like that is Roy's best way of getting involved, and in terms of the other stuff they need to explain, either will get explained really poorly or not explained at all. Now, if Roy is coming back in Season 7 as a series regular, you'd have to think he is rejoining Team Arrow, which is something I find a bit confusing, because obviously Roy gave himself up in Season 3 as the Arrow and got arrested and took the blame for Oliver, and that was how he got written off the show. But if Roy's name has now been cleared, which it has, why would he come back to this? Like, does he want to do this vigilante thing again, or is he not too bothered? Because if he doesn't want to do it again, then why is he doing it? Because this just instantly makes him a target again. Now, I guess you could argue that, you know, obviously, he outed himself as the Arrow, not as Arsenal, so if he goes back out as Arsenal, then no one's going to know it's Roy Harper. I just find it weird that Roy is going to want to get involved with all this vigilante stuff again after having his name cleared and, you know, being on the run for 3 years and finally getting his name cleared, that he's just going to jump straight back into it. I find it weird, so again, they're going to have to explain Roy's motivation for doing this. Also, if Roy is going to come back, I'm going to wonder what suit is he going to wear, because as far as I'm aware, Colton Haynes, he did say that Roy doesn't have the suit anymore, the Arsenal suit, so I have to think, is he going to get a brand new suit? I mean, I'd love to see like a companion piece to the Green Arrow suit, as in, you know, making it like that one but red. I'd love to see that, because obviously Roy always, his suit was always modelled after the old Arrow suit, like the 1 to 3 suit. So I'd love to see, you know, the Season 5, Season 6 suit updated for Arsenal. I'd love to see that, just to see how it looks, and I think Roy would be able to pull that off really, really well. Obviously, you'd have to slim it down a little bit, but I think it'd be awesome just to see, you know, to see the Green Arrow and Arsenal together in updated suits together would be a really awesome thing to see. But in terms of his costume and how it's going to be updated, personally, I feel like he's going to have a very similar suit to what he had. It's just going to be a very similar, you know, full-on red costume, and he's going to have the mask, but he won't have a hood. Instead, he's going to have the cap. Obviously, the cap that he wore in Season 6, he had like a brief little costume in Season 6. It was a pretty cool looking suit, to be fair. It was very makeshift, but it was quite cool at the time, where Roy had the cap, the comic book accurate cap. I feel like that's what they're going to do. He's going to have the suit, the cap, and the mask. That's how Roy's going to look. They may put the hood as well, although that may be a bit much. But personally, I think it'd be really cool just to give Roy a different look to Oliver, is just to give him the cap and just get rid of the hood. I think that'd be a really cool idea, and I'd love to see that. And that's what I personally think it's going to be. So you can picture this in your head. You have the full red bodysuit, the red mask, and then the red cap. I think that'd be an awesome look for Roy, and then give him his bow and his quiver, and that is going to be our new Arsenal. Also, I've been wondering, will he actually be called Arsenal? Will he take up that mantle? Because obviously, like I said earlier, Arsenal was never outed. Yes, Roy Harper was outed, but he outed himself as the Arrow, not Arsenal. So technically, Arsenal could come back, and it just wouldn't matter. He could still be Arsenal, and no one would be able to say, oh, that's Roy Harper. So I'm thinking he may just take up the name Arsenal again. But one thing I'd really love to see, given Oliver is, of course, now the Green Arrow, I would love to see it if he took up the name of Red Arrow. I would love to see it. Obviously, Thea was going to take up the name of Red Arrow, but Oliver was like, oh, no, you're called Speedy. But I'd love to see Roy actually take up that name of the Red Arrow. I think it'd be awesome to have the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow. But personally, if I had to come down to it, I think they will just stick with the code name of Arsenal, just given that's what he had, and Arsenal doesn't really have any controversy surrounding it. So I feel like Arsenal's probably the best bet. Plus, I mean, I do love the name Arsenal. I think it's an awesome name. I think it's just absolutely badass code name. It's my favourite code name probably in the entire Arrowverse is Arsenal. So I think it's going to be awesome. And I personally think he will take up the name of Arsenal when he comes back to Team Arrow. But what do you guys think about Roy returning to Arrow in Season 7? How do you think he's going to return? Do you think they're going to explain anything that's been going on with him? How do you think they're going to get around the Thea situation? And what do you think he's going to be like when he shows up and joins Team Arrow once again? Do you think he's going to have a new suit, a new code name? What do you think is going on with him? Tell me all your thoughts about Roy in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, you want to see more content like this, be sure to head over to my podcast channel, which is called Honor Thy Podcast. It is a weekly DC TV Arrowverse podcast I do with my good friend Dan McCanns, aka Mulekick Media. So if you like this video and you want to see more like this, be sure to head to that description and follow the link down there. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It will help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legend of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.